That's what this is about. And I have never met a country, a region, a city, that does not want to do that, which is simply aligning perceptions with reality. No exaggeration, no nothing. It's about aligning perceptions with reality. And the beauty of it, and why it's an amazing word and why I love it, is because while you align perceptions, while we align perceptions with reality, while you align perceptions with reality, you are creating a better place. You are creating a better place for people to live. You are creating a better place for people to work. And you are creating a place that can offer experiences that you know are special, and you know that your country, your region, and your city has to offer. And that is one of the most noble things, which is you're trying to provide a better quality of life for the people that live in your country, in your city. Isn't this what this is all about? And this is something that we are so proud. I am proud to do this every day, which is to help countries to align perceptions with reality and to provide a better lifestyle for the people that live there. This is what this is all about. This is why Bloom Consulting exists. This is why I work, which is absolutely the best thing in the world. And I do hate these words. I do hate these words so much because of all the mess and because these words mean trouble. All the trouble about, oh, is it the logo? Is it the marketing? The marketing is different from the branding. It is. And then what works, what does not work. So this is a country, it's a sector, if you want to even call it sector, that has issues, has trouble. There's trouble associated with it. And the main issue associated with that is measurement. I even dare to say it's the mother of all issues. It's the reason why all nation brand issues exist is measurement. And it is an issue because it's difficult to create a correlation between your efforts or a positive perception and economic and social value for the place where you live and work. This is the biggest issue that exists. Now, you may say, hold on a minute. There's measurement. There's many measurement tools. There's actually even rankings that measure this and measure perception. And contrary to what you may think, I'm going to talk well about the companies you see here. So there's great studies, great research, like Brand Finance has their own index. The best countries with the US News has one. Ipsos has their nation brand index. Resonance has the best cities index. Future Brand, and of course, Bloom Consulting. I'll say it again, Bloom Consulting has also these indexes. And these indexes and rankings, they are very important for the sector because we, using different methodologies, different processes, we're trying to do the same thing, which is to understand which countries and what are perceptions affecting and how are they ranked and so on. And these are very positive for the sector because it creates debate, conversations, why is that, why it's not? And this is important, this is crucial for the advancement of the sector. However, and we are in this list, as you can see, but whenever we present the results or when we talk about this, and this is our own study from another thing, illustrative, when you present this to, and again, this is for cities, and you present this to, I don't know, a mayor or a minister, a prime minister, or in this case, a mayor, they look at this and say, so, okay, thank you. So I'm in position number 10. What does that mean? I mean, you all know what this means, but you have to, and you know what I'm talking about as well, which is to explain the importance of how you are and how this evolves. It's something you're talking to people that don't deal with this every day. And they say, you know what, I have other problems to deal with. You're talking to me about a vanity ranking, which one looks better? I have healthcare issues to deal with, education. Why should I even pay attention to that? Well, if you're able to explain, and that's the first barrier we always face, right, is explaining the importance of this, questions start to come, and valid questions, as I said. So for instance, why do I need to improve in the ranking? I think it's a very valid question. It's like, I'm in position number 6. Why do I need to go to 3? And so on and so forth. And when you pass this and say, okay, you're able to convince, and then, policymaker, the government leader says, I get it. Let's do it. Love it. I see it. A second question arises, which is, okay, how to do it? Great, let's do it. And there's many ways you can do it. And let me tell you one thing of 20 years of experience, which is there's no one way to do this. If you hear someone saying there's only one way of doing this, it's because they don't have experience in implementation. And you know, and we know, that the most difficult thing on this is implementation, is the consistency, it's going against the current, it's making sure that it goes when it goes, right? How to do it? Well, we, in the way that we work, we have different methodologies, different angles. There's no right way. You cannot replicate formulas and so on. And the way we do it, we even share it for free. It's there. You can get a free copy, the 14 Steps of Nation Branding. Actually, this is based on a case study we developed for Australia. We developed a nation brand strategy for Australia, and we document it. And so, free. And once you have it, even when you have it, when you work with the countries and the regions and the cities, comes the ultimate question. How much? And I have news flash for you. These things cost money. And when I say it costs money, it's not, oh, I'm developing a promotional campaign or what have you, it doesn't work. I'm not going to there. To implement a policy, to develop a policy costs money. You need people to work to develop that policy. To make it happen, it costs money. It's natural. It costs money, right? And then, here we go. And then we say, well, 100,000? $1 million, 10 million, and then, they start to sweat. They say, well, yes, to implement this, we need 10 million. 100 million, hold on, let's go back to question number one. What am I trying to do here? Improve the position there? You know what, I have healthcare issues to deal with and education and so on and so forth. So, thank you. I think this is not going to be a priority. However, if you can create a correlation between this type of investment and the return it brings to the country, to the region and the city. And when I say return, it's not necessarily just financial, economic return. It can be social return. And they say, and here's just an exercise to say, you know what, this 100 million generates 100,000 job posts. So this costed 1,000 per job post. So in the end, in 2 years, on average, the personal income tax will cover this, 100%, zero cost. And actually it's going to start generating revenue. Then it's a completely different conversation. So those 100 million, doesn't look so much, do they? So, and we even raise the bar if we start working with this and start developing rationales like, why not creating nation brand bonds where even the private sector puts money in? And you can finance the sector, and you can raise the bar in this conversation, and then you will start to work with the perceptions, work with the development of your country, your city, but based on solid facts. Now, the question is, can I create correlations? And everyone is saying, yeah, I wish I could do that. Well, so do I, so did I, so do I. And we see from our historical data and so on, we have an indication that it's possible to create this correlation, okay? Now, this correlation, and this is a study, it's past data, it's not Gonzalo is going to present you something, but this is past data, this is from another work. We start to see that there is a direct correlation between emotion and perception or positive perception towards a specific country, region, city, and the intention to have a transaction with that place. So you know, and we know that, for instance, if you improve a decimal in terms of perception, you increase by 6% the interest of, in this case, visiting the place. What is fascinating in this graph, and it's no magic, is the R factor. So you have there an R of nearly 1, which is saying that it's absolutely linear. But we're starting this, and we're starting this, and we started this with tourism, but this is also applicable. So the dots you see here are cities, and you see this for investment, for foreign direct investment, for studying, for living and working. And we started to see there was a correlation between this. And if we find the right formula for this, we are then able to explain to the country, the region or the city, how much they need to move in terms of perception on the rankings, overall rankings, to understand how they reach those objectives, or what the reach, or what type of objectives they can reach, right? However, in order to do this, and to actually say, you know, Istanbul, I know Istanbul is not here, so this is why I explained this to Istanbul. In order for you to reach these specific objectives, you need to move, it's not to be on the top 3, but you need to move 4 positions. And this is a different type of conversation, but we can only do this if we have access to data. And the one that has data is you. So we know that this is, and you know that this is a very opaque industry. Again, if we want to even call it an industry, but there's no sharing of information, there's no sharing of data. And we need data, we need your participation in an anonymous way and all the NDAs and so on to make it happen. So this is why, together with City Nation Place, Bloom Consulting, and researchers from academia, from Pompeu Fabra University, we have started a project to actually measure and to try to create correlations. What we're going to see here today, and we're going to just share with you some initial information, is the introduction to this study. Okay, so this is a study developed by City Nation Place. Actually, only City Nation Place and Connections can actually have access to this information, at least for 6 months after it's done. It's not done yet, it's starting to be done. We have a pool already of 30 places that are already working with us. We have a minuscule still sample, and we are going to invest together with City Nation Place in developing this study. Once we conclude, it's going to be open source. Everyone should have access to that, and there's no cost associated with that. But again, I'm going to give this to Gonzalo, which is the head of place analytics at Bloom Consulting and partner at Bloom Consulting. Please, Gonzalo.
Thank you, Jose. What a challenge, right? We've been talking about this for the last 10 years, maybe. What are the objectives of this study? We have 3 objectives. The first 2 are going to be related to understand how a positive perception can impact social and economic impact. What Jose was mentioning before, are cities or places with a good or a more positive perception have higher chances to bring tourist investors and talent? Yes. And we also want to know, once we understand what is the perception, we want to correlate it with the efforts that countries, regions, and cities are doing on a daily basis when managing their brands. We want a mathematical formula. That is our ambitious objective with this project. There is another objective, which is the one we're actually going to start to share. We have just preliminary data on that we want to understand and gather data about the current situation, that what are the resources available, what are the efforts that countries, regions, and city are putting into place when managing the brand. And this is what we want to talk about. Now, how are we going to do it, right? As Jose was mentioning, Bloom Consulting is going to be the team leader. We're going to provide research, expertise, and financial investment if necessary. We are partnering with the researchers from the University of Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. We have professors that will provide scientific support and academic support. This is very important in academia. We want them, and we have invited them to give this academia seal of approval on that research. And City Nation Place, of course, through its connections, City Nation Place is going to be the project, I would say, manager, project support, and it's going to be in touch with the data partners, you. We need data. We have, as Jose was saying, a small sample yet of 35 countries, regions, cities that have signed out and show initial interest on participating in this project, but we want more. We need more. And the only thing we ask is for data and time. This is it. We have a plan. We have already started. We are on the second phase here. We're ready to show initial results, but this is a long journey. It's going to take at least 1 year, maybe next year, we're able to show the results on the City Nation Place. What are these results? 5 findings. I'm going to go fast on that. First, despite COVID crisis, budgets for 2021, according to the sample we have, are similar to pre-pandemic levels. Of course, that is the majority that report that they have the same kind of budget. Of course, there are hits in certain places and countries that have eventually developed on strongly decreased budgets, and other countries or cities that have slightly increased. But overall, it's a sum zero. It's the same level. When we talk about budgets, of course, the overhead costs are the majority, but we start to have these numbers, and that's what we need to fine tune is. We see that today with the data we have, again, preliminary, 25% is devoted to marketing, double done to research. Okay. Very important, marketing activities. And what does marketing mean? We asked, and we know, marketing means today, digital marketing and digital identity. Yes, the majority, I would say all of them, 90, like almost everyone, in their marketing activities, they're pursuing through PR and media relations, social media campaigns, and online advertising. This is the vast majority, and I guess the majority of the budget is allocated to these activities. But we also see branded content, first-party content creation. This is part of the identity. And the PR campaigns also contribute to generate a stronger digital identity through media relations. Fourth finding. Half of the countries, regions, and cities do not have an ongoing nation brand strategy or city brand strategy. What is interesting, though, is that everyone has the same objectives. They have identified that building awareness about the identity and brand values of the place or the country is the most important objective of all. It is more important than brand conversion or conversion of transactional purposes. Yes, it's important to bring tourist investment, but according to the data we have, building awareness of the identity and the values is more important today. And finally, about measurement, right? The mother of all the problems we were saying. The vast majority, almost everyone, is using metrics. They have metrics to understand the performance of the brand. But we can see here that it's very traditional, it's about the statistics. And we all know, the ones that work a lot with the statistics, how they are. Sometimes they come a bit later when you want them or you need them. They are not yet, they're 2 years old. And it's quite vague because you don't know and you don't have a direct relationship. We also see other type of more sophisticated metrics like social media, PR campaign metrics. And this, if you bear with me a little bit, it is very much related to the type of activities and marketing activities countries, regions, and cities pursue. It is, if you do the campaigns in social media, you were getting the metrics, which is very good. And interesting enough, only half of them use international perception studies, which is quite curious. It's just the same, more or less, percentage as the one that have a nation brand or city brand strategy into place. So until here, the study, these are, again, initial findings, preliminary, I would say interesting facts about that third part, the third objective of the project. We still have to understand perceptions and how much they're bringing to the economy on that sense and find that formula, that correlation. So what is next? It's data. We need more data, more countries, regions, and cities to participate and to join this project. And you will say, no, but you have already 30 places that are interested. No, we have a higher ambition. We want to create the most comprehensive study done ever. We want to understand the difference between tourism, investment, talent, or reputation. We also want to understand the difference between countries, cities, or region. Is the destination level, right, affecting that perception and that correlation? And finally, the geography. Are the dynamics in the Americas the same as in Europe or Asia or Africa? We need more data to try to cross all these data to find the exact formulas. Because maybe, and I say maybe, the formula for South America is different than the one for North America or different than the one from Europe. Good news, recruitment is open. We have a very easy link to subscribe to join, which is at bloomconsulting.com/research. Just need to click and put your credentials and answer 10 easy questions as the ones you were saying. We have it open until the end of the month, until the end of October, and later on we will decide how to pursue. We need at least 70 places to have that solid base to get all these correlations that we're aiming for. Thank you, and hopefully we see us next year. Thank you very much.
Clearly, that's something we're very excited about. So I hope if you haven't joined yet, you will try and join. I'm sure Gonzalo meant to say the end of November rather than the end of October. And you can also join via our site. Oh no, have we got that? Anyway, go to their site, easier. But if you have any questions, please do follow up with the Bloom team. So now we have more breakout sessions. Downstairs in the bridge room or on stage 2 for our virtual delegates. If you were a little bit worried earlier about AI and open data, the thing you should really be worrying about is when the cookie disappears if you're in marketing. So we are promising a hands-on user-friendly guide for place marketers to what life is going to be like without the cookie and how you might be working with your first-party data. And in this room, we'll continue to look at measurement in that we have brand finance, looking at how you understand the value and strength of nation brands post-COVID. So we've got 3 minutes to work out which room to go to, which stage to go to, and then we have a break. Thank you.